What's up, guys? Welcome back to another video here at Buyer Build. We have something pretty special here today. Don't see these all too often. This is a 2016 370 Nismo with only 20,000 miles on it. It is basically all stock, original, no modifications at all. And I took it for a quick test drive yesterday just to see how they feel. And I gotta say, I'm pretty impressed with the driving experience, manual transmission, of course. And what I like most about this car, and the Nismo edition specifically, is the interior. You get OEM Recaro Sportsters with the Nismo badging on it. Alcantara inserts, leather bolstering, Nismo floor mats, driver focused dash. All the gauges are pointed at you. Very similar to the GTR interior, like all the buttons are the same. Even the smell is the same across the different Nissans. So today we are not doing any performance modifications. However, we are doing a big lineup of maintenance items that the owner wanted us to tackle. So that way it's good for many more years forward. We got coolant. The Honda stuff, blue Type 2, is the same as Nissan. So we're running OEM coolant there. We have 7590 differential, GL5, doing a 5W30 oil change, OEM filter, power steering fluid, manual transmission fluid, OEM drain gaskets, OEM Denso spark plugs. We are taking off the plenum to get to the spark plugs, changing out the valve cover gasket. So we're also doing the intake manifold plenum gasket. We have the OEM Nissan RTV, which is going to be helpful for doing the valve cover gaskets. And we're doing a brake flush as well as a clutch fluid flush. Uses all the same stuff. Let's pop that hood.
Is that BQ action?
Ooh. Even get a Nismo strut tower brace with a red and black cover. Not sure if that's Nismo specific, having a red and black cover. Maybe. I've actually never seen one of these engines up close. Basically, it looks like a baby GTR engine. Basically the same thing, you know? The coolant tank, air boxes, everything is located in the same spot, just a little bit more compacted. So if it's anything like the VR38, then, you know, removing the intake manifold is actually pretty straightforward. Just got to get the strut brace and the engine cover off, and then intake manifold, everything is just, you know, right down the middle, a bunch of 10 millimeters. So let's get to work. We're gonna get this thing up in the air on the max jacks, pull the wheels off, do the brakes, do the clutch, do the motor. So we removed all the plastic trim here, covering the brakes, covering the battery, covering the center bolts here. And then now we can lift up and take out the strut bar. There we have. Two-piece.
Mm-hmm.
Plastic. So you can see down there the bolts holding the intake manifold down. On the GTR, this is aluminum. I guess on this car, it's plastic. So we already removed out the airbox tubes. The ones go from here to the intake boxes. But you can see tons of hoses in the way. But luckily, Nissan hoses come off pretty easily from the barbs. I noticed that on the GTR as well. We're gonna pull the intake manifold off with throttle bodies on them, so there's no need to disconnect those. But just go around disconnecting different vacuum lines, disconnect the sensors from throttle body, and And everything back here too should also be disconnected. Anything that is attached to this needs to come off. So the ones up here in the front as well, these need to come off too. And then as we remove more and more, we'll have better access to valve covers. There she comes. And out the plenum comes. So we did actually drain coolant because we are doing coolant flush to remove the hoses off the throttle body. There's a lot of coolant in here. So if you don't drain it, you'll make a big mess down on the ground. There's the old intake plenum gasket, which we are replacing with a new one after reassembly. I'm gonna plug these manifold ports up so nothing falls in by accident. And then we are going to work on the valve covers now. So again, same design as the GTR. Valve covers starts from here, ends there. These are, they feel like plastic.
They're plastic on
Yeah,
this.
it's plastic. So GTR, they were aluminum. On the last car we did billet aluminum ones from MAD. And yeah. So to get the valve covers off, there are some wiring harnesses clipped in that you unclip, and you got ignition coils held in, 10mm bolts. Then you have some tubes that can come off with the valve cover, or you can just leave them on. But to get access to them, it's not too bad. They have these 10mm bolts with the big flanges here. Be careful not to lose those, as they have it's hard to find replacement ones. They're like $10 each. You have to get them from the dealership. And when I tried to find them for the GTR, only like one dealership actually had them in stock within 50 miles. So be careful not to lose those. They are special bolts. And yeah, we'll get going on this disassembly, and we'll take a look at the camshafts once this is all out. We have the valve covers pulled off, as you can see. Got to pull out the old gaskets as well and clean up the valve cover surface on the head, so that we have to peel off the old RTV with a scraper, clean it really nice, so that way we can prepare the new valve cover gasket and new RTV. And this RTV stuff has to cure for at least 24 hours before you start up the motor. So you want to make sure that the engine is cold, and make sure that you let it cure long enough, and then that way no oil seeps through the valve covers. Because on the GTR, we actually had to do it a couple times because I guess somehow oil was still seeping through the valve cover gasket and the RTV. So pretty annoying if you have to do it twice. So we're going to do it properly, do it once, and let it cure very well. And while we're in here, we're going to do these spark plugs. So we have the old ones pulled out here, as you can see. These are Denso OEMs. We have the same exact ones going back in, but these are in good shape, as you can tell from the tips. They don't look bad at all. We just did the passenger side valve cover, torquing everything down to spec. We used that nice OEM RTV in all four corners. Corner there, corner there, corner here, and corner there. So you want to do that. Lay down a sizable bead. You don't gotta go too little or too much. These plastic ones, it's not too bad. I wish they went with aluminum. That would have been nice. So we already drained the motor oil into that bucket. We are now gonna do the transmission fluid. This is a manual transmission. So the drain is gonna be on the bottom of the trans. Was it 8mm?
It's actually a 12.
12mm hex right there on the bottom of the transmission.
Gonna break the fill loose first.
The fill's also a 12.
Let's check.
So the fill's gonna be on the side.
Yep, fill's a 12.
And then basically you drain it, you plug it, new gaskets, and then you fill it till it starts to drip out, levels off, and that's all you really gotta do. And while we're down there, we're also gonna do the clutch hydraulic fluid, so we'll bleed it through the slave. And I'm gonna show you. So we have OEM transmission fluid. We have some gaskets. And this is gonna be for the diff. Liquid mollies, good stuff. GO4-5 compatible. We're gonna fill it with some 5W30 liquid moly. And then when we're done with that, we'll refill it with some Type 2 blue coolant, Japanese style. Transmission and the diff, you need to have a fluid transfer pump. So you can get one of these from Harbor Freight. They're $8, super cheap. I've gone through a few of these because over time they start to not pump so well. It doesn't build good vacuum or pressure. But I think you have like 3 months warranty on these things. They're cheap enough that you could just buy them and kind of just toss them. But if they fail in 3 months, you can submit something online and you get a refund. Go buy another one. So that's what you need. Fresh one for our trans fluid. Right there, dead smack in the middle. Super easy access. Did the fill bolt have a washer on it?
It did, yes.
And the drain?
Yep, both of them do.
Yep. So they're probably identical bolts. Sometimes on certain cars, like one is slightly different fill versus drain. That looks pretty clean. It's only got 20,000 miles, honestly.
Yeah, no real metal on the magnet either. Looks good.
We are now filling our trans with said pump, brand new. Pumps really nicely. There's no leaks. Very happy. Give it a couple more. Yep, on to the next bottle. See something pretty cool, guys? OEM exhaust made by HKS. And it's got like some subframe damper made by Yamaha. All the cool brands on this car. So now we're draining the diff. Got the fill bolt out first. Always take that one out first, because if you drain it and you can't remove the fill, you're screwed. It's almost like what the GTR one looked like. Pretty normal, I guess. Mm-hmm. So we are officially done with the diff and the transmission. We are now working on bleeding the brake fluid. So, oh, that's pretty cool. He actually had wheel spacers on here from Bonas. They make the same ones for the Type R. They're good company. So again, like any traditional brake setup, you start from the furthest from the master. So we're gonna do rear passenger, rear driver, front passenger, then front driver last. Then on the Brembos in the front, you have 2 bleeders. We like to do the one on the inside first and then the outside. So what we're doing right now is bleeding the power steering. So, and the coolant. As you can see, we have the coolant right there on our green tank right there, which is allowing air to evacuate through the cooling system as we're running it with full heat. The car is still cold, so we gotta let it warm up. And right now we're doing the power steering.
Flush number 1.
Yep. So what we do, we extract out the old fluid, replace with new fluid, turn the wheel lock to lock about 5 times, and then you repeat the whole thing where you suck out the fluid and pour in new fluid, and then the more you do it, the less old fluid there will be in the system. So we're just gonna keep doing that until we run out of the 24 ounces of OEM power steering fluid that we have right there. So we're gonna do the same thing, go all the way. Well, that wraps up this 370Z, guys. 20,000 miles, full maintenance schedule, every single fluid done. Didn't really get a chance to do an outro here or show you the final results. We had to deliver this car the same exact day, but all in all, this was a really clean car. This was the first time I ever had a 370Z here in the shop. First time I drove one. I gotta say, it is a great chassis for the money. Thank you guys for watching.